Shawnee, we put my daughter, was 14 at the time, into the pediatric behavioral unit at McCady Hospital. She was being bullied, and so to cope with it, she had started cutting herself. And then the cutting didn't help because that's an unhealthy coping skill. So the cutting got deeper, which was actually unsafe for her. But she got to the point where she was suicidal. So she was in trauma. So we put her in the pediatric behavioral unit. And that is actually what kind of clued us into the whole therapy world of equine therapy, because one of Shawnee's healthy coping skills was animals. So when she got out of the hospital, when she was having her hardest days, she would come here. And she would just be with the horses. And we didn't understand at the time the therapeutic purposes of that until it's kind of like she went in the hospital and she got healthy and I got unhealthy because I had unhealthy thinking habits. Because putting somebody in the hospital, there's a stigma that goes with it. And so that was hard for me because I'm a people pleaser and I like people to like me. So I went to a really, really dark place. Like, it was bad and I wasn't coping well and I was not in a healthy place. And he got out. And when horses get loose in an unfamiliar territory, they panic because they're a herd animal, and if they don't have their herd with them, they get scared and they panic. So he got in a panic situation, and I felt his soul. Like, I felt it. Like, I felt, because his scared was the same scared I felt inside. And it was like this magic moment, and it doesn't always happen like that, but it was like this magic moment where he saw me and I saw him for what we both were, and he dropped what he was doing and walked to me, and I cried. I'm a crier. And so after that, we started looking into equine therapy, and it's a thing, and it's so cool, and I love it. I think that's the biggest thing with equine therapy is with talk therapy, you can kind of BS your way through it. Does that make sense? I mean, not really, but in talk therapy, sometimes you don't get down to the layers. But in equine therapy, sometimes you don't have a choice because the animal doesn't let you keep the barriers up. She's kind of been crucial. Like, I didn't realize how crucial she would be in the therapy world. I think in a lot of ways she's been crucial because of her past, because she gets other people that have had trauma more. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. She actually relates to a lot of the kids that have had trauma. She relates to them a lot better. She's more patient with our trauma people. I think the biggest thing I want people to know about mental health, like, there's a couple stigmas that I think, like, I think people need to understand that it's okay to get help. And I think that they need to understand that there are so many options for them. Like, if equine therapy isn't your thing, that's fine. Talk therapy. There's so many different therapies evolving, I think, because the mental health world is evolving. Just keep choosing to keep moving forward. I guess that's my thing, is just don't get stuck, because I think sometimes people they just get stuck and they choose to stay stuck, and that's when the unhealthiness comes in. But I think the big thing is, like, ending the stigmas has been our biggest thing since Sean's come out of the hospital, is ending the stigma about getting help, and then just ending the stigma of staying in that place where you don't get better, because you can get better and life can be so much better.